You can lower your blood pressure by at least the systolic up to 40 points and your diastolic 10 to 15 points if you follow some natural methods. And I know this is controversial because most people think that, gosh, if my blood pressure is high, I have to take, 3 or 4 different blood pressure medications, and there's no hope. But there might be. You have to watch the entire video, and what I would recommend, I'm going to give you I believe it's 10. I wrote down 10 things that you can try, natural methods to lower your blood pressure. You have to try them. And what's the worst that's going to happen? These are natural things that promote health, and if they don't work, so you just stay on your medications. The number one thing you want to think about is the reason you have high blood pressure is because your body's responding to its environment. The blood pressure goes up simply because that's the reaction that it has because of our lifestyle choices, as well as sometimes genetics. There are certain things we can't control. But if you alter your lifestyle, if you alter your diet, if you alter your various things that we're going to talk about here, and some of these are easy to do and some are more difficult, so you'll decide which ones are right for you. You may be able to improve your blood pressure. So if you're on blood pressure medication, you're on 3 or 4 different blood pressure medications, maybe we can reduce you down to 2. Maybe we can reduce you down to 1, possibly get off all of them. It's possible for some people, for others it's not. Everyone's different. Let's just dive into number 1, weight. Your body has to work harder when it's bigger. If you were to take a person who's 150 pounds and add 80 pounds of adipose tissue to your frame, there's blood vessels that have to supply those adipose tissue cells with nutrients, and that requires more blood vessels. It's harder work on the heart, and that's a bad thing. So I wrote down here, I have some research. For every 2.2 pounds lost, your systolic will drop 1 millimeter of mercury. Now that seems frustrating, doesn't it? However, if you think about that means if you lose 22 pounds, a person's systolic numbers can drop 10 points. That's important because some of us have more weight to lose than others. If you drop 44 pounds, we're talking 20 millimeters of mercury change. That can be significant. So weight loss is very, very important, and we're going to discuss, I have it later on in the video, so hang tight with me, but there's various ways to lose weight. There's the keto diet, carnivore diet, there's the Atkins diet, there's the zone diet, there's the South Beach diet, there's portion control, there's calories in, calories out. There's many different philosophies of how to diet. One of them are going to suit you, and if you found that one worked better than the other, let me know in the comment section so other people can read it and learn about what works for people. Number 2, let's get into this, and this is extremely controversial, and I'm sure I'm going to get some comments on this, but the research is extremely clear. For the majority of people, not all, but the majority of people, salt does have an effect on blood pressure. It's very popular in the keto diet community, if you want to call it a community, that they believe that salt has no role in blood pressure, but that may be true for some people, but it's not for everyone. The average American eats 3.4 grams of salt per day just in their food, let alone adding salt. It's recommended that we have 2.3 grams, so there's a significant difference. For every 1 gram of salt reduction that you make, you can lower your systolic numbers by 5 points. If you're just the average American, or you're eating a very Western style diet, you can lower your blood pressure significantly by cutting the salt intake in half. Now, the recommendations are not no salt, it's just stop overeating salty foods, and this usually comes in packaged foods, processed foods. So if you eat natural foods, you're going to be still getting salt in your diet, but just not so much. Number 3, this was fascinating, and there is research to support this, that 5 grams per day of potassium can lower your systolic numbers by 5 millimeters of mercury. And you just have to simply find foods. You can use a Google search to find foods that are high in potassium, and it's so easy because they're just normal foods if you just eat natural foods. But a lot of people are not eating these foods, but raising your potassium levels can significantly lower your blood pressure. And again, it takes 5 grams, which is nothing, by the way, to lower your blood pressure by 5 millimeters of mercury. Good examples of diets that have a lot of potassium in it are like the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, the Zone diet. And if you lower your salt and increase potassium, right there's 10 millimeters of mercury on your blood pressure, because those usually go hand in hand. The DASH diet, Mediterranean diet, Zone diet, for example, promotes a lot of vegetable foods. 80% of the food should be vegetables, and turns out that when you do that, you're eating a tremendous amount of potassium and a low amount of sodium. Magnesium. Magnesium is a big one. If you watch my channel, this is number 4, by the way, but magnesium is a big one. And the reason why is because we just don't eat enough foods that have magnesium. Because if you're on a keto diet or a carnivore diet, you know, you're just, let's face it, man, you're not getting the amount of magnesium you would if you were eating a Mediterranean diet. And it doesn't matter whether your food is grass-fed. It would be like, imagine if someone said that I'm eating so many carrots that I'm getting enough protein. That just doesn't, you could in theory, but it's just not. Ultimately, for many people that are on diets to lose weight, you're probably not getting enough magnesium. The recommended daily allowance is different for men versus females. It's in the range of about 300 on average for a person. It depends on your height and weight as well. A bigger person is going to require more magnesium. I personally take a magnesium supplement at nighttime because it helps me sleep. I'll put the name of the supplement down in the description if you're interested, but you can get whatever you want. Get enough magnesium, it'll lower your systolic numbers up to 2 millimeters of mercury. And there's a lot of other benefits besides blood pressure, but fish oil, we should be getting enough fish oil. Omega-3s, people just don't do it. I take about a gram of fish oil per day, and if you take a gram of fish oil per day, most of the research has shown that it can lower your systolic numbers about 4 or 5 millimeters of mercury. So again, I'll put the links to what I take down in the description if you want to see that. Fish oil has a lot of great benefits, not just for your blood pressure, but for your overall health, and that's why I do it. Alcohol. This is a controversial one. Number 6 is alcohol. If you just drink 0 alcohol, it will lower your blood pressure by about 4 to 5 millimeters of mercury. I know people who literally will drink a case of beer a day, and you just think to yourself, aside from the carbohydrates problem with that, the amount of alcohol that your liver has to work with. There's something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and then there's alcoholic fatty liver disease and cirrhosis of the liver. And once your liver goes, you're gonna have a hard time maintaining any real blood pressure. They often say that, oh, only in moderation, but what does moderation mean? Moderation means 1 to 2 glasses of wine per day. But as far as I'm concerned, if you really want to lower your blood pressure, then you really should be stopping the alcohol. That's my advice. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Number 7, exercise. The real benefits of exercise is its effect on our hormones. And if you use cardiovascular exercise, about walking 150 minutes per week, which is simply Monday through Friday, walking 30 minutes, it isn't a lot, that's considered cardiovascular exercise. And that will lower your blood pressure up to 5 millimeters of mercury. They also say that cycling 5 to 9 miles per hour, 150 minutes per week is gonna lower your blood pressure. That would drive me nuts. If you know anything about me, I do not ride my bike 5 to 9 miles per hour. That would drive me insane. But that just goes to show you how little exercise it takes to have an effect on your blood pressure. Now, there are people on YouTube that will say high intensity interval training has an effect on blood pressure as well, and they are correct. However, you have to consider that if someone is overweight by the effect of like 60, 80 pounds, which a lot of people are, they smoke cigarettes, they have diabetes, they have non-alcoholic or alcoholic fatty liver disease, doing high intensity interval training is just too dangerous. It's like revving up the engine too much on your car before your car even has a chance to warm up. High intensity exercise is really for people that are already exercising. So even though you will see that high intensity interval training is beneficial for high blood pressure, it's probably smarter to do more low intensity, long duration exercise that's more cardiovascular. And that will be smarter for you. The benefits of high intensity exercise do come with the risk of raising your heart rate too fast. And for many people, that can cause a heart attack or a stroke. And so when you consider that when you're first starting exercise, it is probably a good idea to start easier. So number 8, meditation, deep breathing, cold water immersion. These are things that do have a benefit if you're into it. Some people, it frustrates them more if they try to meditate. Some people can't breathe deeply because they can't breathe in through their nose or anything like this. They have deviated septums. So you have to find ways to do it. But if it lowers your blood pressure by 5 millimeters of mercury, then it might be worth it to give it a shot. So all it takes is about 5 minutes once a day to really just deep breathe in through the nose. You can do out through the nose or out through the mouth. You can try humming, you could try meditation, just calmly thinking in a quiet place for about 5 minutes can make a big difference on your blood pressure. And some people actually find it beneficial from a stress relief point of view. Number 9, there's really no research on this. It's scant at best, but to have attitude adjustments. And what this means is to stop worrying. I have personally found this to be beneficial for me because I'm one that I take things seriously. I try to find the humor in everything, but ultimately I'm a serious-minded person. You could say type A personality. And stress reduction has been something that's really helped me control my blood pressure, because when I get upset, I get nervous. There's a lot. I'm human, and learning how to de-stress makes a difference. And there's a million ways. There's a million therapists out there that can help you. Some just want to throw drugs at you. Some will help you figure out lifestyle and emotional changes of how to look at the world. I have found that the book written by Dale Carnegie, which is called, it's not the one How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's the one How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I'll put a link to that one down below in the description too if you want to look at that book or purchase it. It's literally, I don't even think it's $10 on Amazon, and it's really worth it because you get through the book and now you have tools that you can use to control your emotions and control how you think about the world and what stresses you out and what doesn't. The one that I get the most flack for, but yet has the most research for. Imagine knowing that there are foods that lower your blood pressure significantly within 3 hours, and this reduction can last up to 24 hours. Would you eat that food? What if I can show you a way to use that food in such a way that you don't even taste it? Or I can give you a recipe that makes it taste good. Would you eat that food? And the answer is, for many people, they've already got the oxalate comment already set, and they're just looking for a video. But spinach and beets, particularly beetroot juice, an 8-ounce glass of beetroot juice has been shown to lower blood pressure tremendously. In fact, it lowers it as much as some blood pressure medications. Well, holy crap, that's amazing. I mean, imagine something natural that you could buy at the supermarket that would be as effective as the blood pressure medications you're taking. The reason why people are so upset at this is because there is a small percentage of the population genetically that will form kidney stones. And if you form kidney stones, then you simply can't use this. But I gave you 10 options to lower your blood pressure, so just do the other 9. But again, I have people, they're ready with that comment, and as soon as they see beets or spinach, they're like, oxalates. And you're like, yeah, everybody knows, but not everyone forms kidney stones. But those are some things you could use in your life that can lower your blood pressure. So I hope these 10 things will help you. It'll get you started on lowering your blood pressure naturally. You can lower your blood pressure naturally. There's many lifestyle choices that you can make that will significantly lower your blood pressure. And if you start going through this video again and adding up, this one's 5 millimeters of mercury, this one's 5, this one's 5, this one's 20, this one's 10, it can add up to a significant lowering of your blood pressure totally naturally. Today's video sponsor is Bioptimizers, and they have the product Magnesium Breakthrough. 7 different types of magnesium to cover all the bases. You take 2 tablets at nighttime, 500 milligrams of magnesium, and wow, you sleep like a baby. In addition to that, you'll also recover much better from exercise because magnesium plays a major role in the recovery of exercise. And if you're looking for electrolytes, there's no better electrolyte than magnesium. So there will be a discount code down below in the description along with a link to look at this product. So hit that link, let them know you love me.